Hi, it's Adam. Welcome to training vlog number 7. As normally, the vlog will be divided into 6 parts that will help you be the best cyclist you can possibly be. So, in the first part, we will go in detail in my physical training. So, I will especially share you some trick that I use to be able to do long ride inside on the bike without always thinking about stopping. Then we will talk about mental training. This week, we will talk about the love of faith through acceptance. After that, we will go to the video of the week. So we'll talk about the importance of being able to adjust. Then I'll share the book of the week and the album that I listen to the most on the bike. And finally, I will finish the vlog by answering your questions. So let's go, and we'll start right away. So for the physical training, I started the week with the cadence training. The goal was not to challenge my cardiovascular limit, but rather to get out of my muscular comfort zone with the cadence variation. So I followed with the recovery day on Tuesday. Wednesday, I did a tempo session, so 3 times 20 minutes in control. When I say in control, that means that I'm not comfortable during the intervals, but I'm not at an effort so intense that I doubt that my ability to complete the interval is not gonna be enough. Thursday and Saturday, I did 2 long rides on the stationary bike. So for me, it really helped me to get through those long training. Is really to separate the training in several small parts, all composed of a micro objective. So, for example, a part could be a block I spend a lot of time standing. Another one where I make sure to have an aerodynamic position. Another objective could be that I make sure to really be smooth and stable on my bike. So a lot of precise objective that once added give a long ride. And I finished the week with 5 hours on the trainer, which include 4 times 8 minutes. The 8 minute was divided into 2 parts. So the first 50 seconds was at 350 watts, and the last 10 seconds of the 1 minute was at 600 watts. So yeah, overall it gives me a week of 23 hours and 45 minutes with a total physical stress of 616 TSS. Now for the mental training, this week we'll talk about the love of faith through acceptance. So I'll read it, and I encourage you to read it with me and take notes. Love of faith through acceptance. Amor fati. There's an important idea in Nietzsche of amor fati, the love of your faith, which is in fact your life. As we say, if you say no to a single factor in your life, you have unraveled the whole thing. Furthermore, the more challenging or threatening the situation or context to be assimilated and affirmed, the greater the stature of the person who can achieve it. The demon that can swallow gives its power, and the greater life's pain, the greater life's reply. So that's Joseph Campbell and Bill Myers that tell us that in The Power of Myth. Be in trust with life. At such point where there is no arguments against whatever it offers you. Loosen any resistance and see that there is a place for gratefulness in every moment. Accept your life in the present and refuse to ask for something to be different in that exact moment. The amplification of suffering caused by resistance. When suffering arises, the first thing to do is to stop, follow your breathing, and acknowledge it. Don't try to deny an uncomfortable emotion or push them down. So that's Thich Nhat Hanh that tells us that in his book No Mud, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering. Suffering goes with happiness. They are inseparable. There is absolutely no shame in the awareness of pain because any detection of negative within is a positive thing. The way you approach challenging time influences greatly the way you experience them. The intensity of your suffering is multiplied by the amount of resistance you have towards the reality you are refusing. Your choice is then to amplify or reduce the suffering. The emotion is inevitable, but your reaction to the situation greatly changes the intensity of the suffering associated with it. Allow and get close to the pain rather than trying to fight it or avoid it. Acceptance and agreement are not equal. Acceptance does not suggest you want the thing to repeat itself. It means that you can see and embrace the situation fully without resistance. To accept the difficulty is the first step to finding its solution. To resist, on the other hand, is equal to an avoidance of the problem. Change can only occur where there's a release of the past. because letting go creates the ability and the space necessary to receive and understand the issue. Simply put, destruction is needed to allow creation. A quote here from Joseph Campbell in the Joseph Companion: "If you want resurrection, you must have crucifixion." Assuming you will be joyful at time is a myth. In life, things will begin negative from time to time, and those arduous moments will enable you to appreciate the beautiful ones even more. With that in mind, recall that you are a poor predictor of the future. Don't be fast to judge if an event is bad or good for you, for the simple fact that you honestly can predict the impact it will produce on your overall circumstances. It's normal to oscillate, and embrace it when you are feeling amazing, and know that when you are discouraged, that all state of mind will eventually dissolve. Remember, everything is temporary. There's no good in combating your level of subjective happiness in the moment. There's a quote here from Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning: "Happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue, and it only does so as an unattended side. Happiness must happen. You have to let it happen by not caring about it." So, all life is growth. Without evolution, there is no life. Every obstacle on your path offers a possibility for development that must be welcomed fully. So that's it for the mental training of the week. Now let's switch to the video of the week. So this week is the Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL, that tells us about the importance of adjustment.
With a plan,
So,
and then you start executing the plan.
The video.
Guess what? Once you start executing a plan, some other things are going to come to light, right?
Right?
And you as a leader have to say, hey, you know what? We started executing this. It's going pretty good, but I didn't foresee this happening. I'm making an adjustment. Here it is. Here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to wait for that feedback to come to me. The problem is people are so insecure or / their ego is so big that I'm just going to stick with the same plan no matter everyone else is dumb. No, you just need to see it through. It's like, no, actually we need to make some changes.
Because they are afraid of saying, hey, my initial assessment might have been inaccurate.
So wow. So basically, Jocko confirmed that unplanned event will eventually happen, no matter how good our plan really is. So our objective then is to be able to recognize that we did not plan for that event in particular to happen, and have the courage and the flexibility to adjust accordingly. So it's like, if I want to illustrate it, it's like a content feedback loop. So we plan, then we adjust, then we learn. Plan, adjust, learn. Plan, adjust, learn. So the danger we need to avoid is really letting our insecurity and our ego get in the way of admitting our mistake. So we are able to adjust according to the situation rather than refuse the change and trying to work against it. So our mission is really to be open to any obstacle that we didn't plan for, and see them as opportunity to improve our method. So the book of the week is The Champion Mind: How Great Athletes Think, Train and Thrive by Jim Afremow, PhD. So in my opinion, this book is a perfect introduction to sports psychology. Jim Afremow introduced us to the concept of sports psychology most used in high-level athletes. So in this book, he offers several tips we can apply to our personal mental training. So in this book, he teaches us, for example, how to enter the zone, how to manage stress, how to be a good team player, how to achieve personal excellence. He also touches on more practical things, so like how to create a pre-competition routine that will allow you to perform at our best. So yeah, there's a lot of things. It's packed with great idea. So if you want a great intro to sports psychology that focus on the theory and practice, I really think The Champion's Mind is a really good place to start. So here it is, The Champion's Mind by Jim Afremow. So the album I listened the most during my training this week is the last album by James Blake, Assume 4. In this album, the lyrics sung by James Blake are mostly focused on an analysis of the emotion that comes with love, such as euphoria, insecurity. And as he do that, he questioned the impact that those emotions have on him. So honestly, for me, the mix of electronic and R&B in an experimental way is just a perfect mix. So I really, really suggest this album if you want to listen to it. So finally, let's go to the question of the week. Um, so first question, the FQSC asked me, how many hours a day do you sleep? It depends. I try to sleep as much as possible and as much as possible to wake up naturally. So, not to wake up with an alarm. On average, I would say I sleep about 9 hours a night, but I'm in my bed at least 10 hours at a night, if you count reading and meditation. We'll for sure come back to the importance of sleep and how to sleep better in a future vlog. Kilian asked me, what do you eat when you recover? I would tell you it's mostly food that are really easy to assimilate, so mainly rich in protein and in carbohydrate. Martin Rioux asked me, how much protein a day? Honestly, the amount vary enormously depending on the time and the intensity of the training of the day, and also on the time and the intensity of the week in general. Tri Justenberg asked me, best protein or favorite bar? Without a doubt, my favorite bar are the Nag bar. You know it by now. Um, Bitney Pavel asked me, mental preparation for TT. Um, I would say it's a mix of a lot of variable, like great confidence in my preparation, the ability to properly control my focus, a precise race routine. I mean, I could name many others. It's a very good question, and we'll certainly go back to it in a future vlog. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something that will be useful in your development, and I'm hoping to see you in the next vlog, in vlog 8. So in the meantime, have a good training. Bye bye.